How you doing, Joe?
Good, Tom, how about you?
You doing all right?
Yeah.
All righty, I'd like to open the regular monthly meeting of the Senior Town Council. Open with the pledge of allegiance. So desire.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, thank you all for coming. This is our past practice. We have a 15-minute public comment period for opening comments on the agenda items. Anybody? All right, hearing none, we'll start with Meisner Productions. You have did you want to say or let us know about something brand new and exciting?
Yes, yes. Shall I come up here?
Sure.
I brought this only for a couple of words on here that I always forget the names of. I want to talk to all of you about what I'm really excited about, the fact that, and most of you know now because we've passed these out to you, but in 2020 the FLW is holding their Pro Circuit Championship. This is the first time ever. They've never had anything like this before, and they're having it because the combination now with the FLW and Major League Fishing. And they're having it here in Massena. And that is an incredible, I think, step in the direction that we've been trying to do now for several years in using fishing to bring people here. And so this is going to take place next year. It's going to be a 5-day event. They're bringing the 50 top professional fishermen. The top 50 in the country are competing for this championship. And at the end of that 5-day event, the person that wins this is going to get $200,000 first place. And even the 50th person is going to get a check for $10,000. To me, this is a fantastic. I'm so excited about this, and I just wanted to tell you, all of you, what has been going on, where we go from here. The other thing I wanted to tell you, at the same time, Bass Nation, which is part of Bass, the other competitive branch of fishing in the United States, they now have begun a kayak fishing tournament schedule around the United States. And when I heard about this 2 days ago, I immediately called the media people of Bass, who I've been friends with for several years since we first brought Bass up to Waddington in 2013. And I talked to, first of all, the people from the media. They put me to John Stewart, who was the head of Bass Nation. And John got back to me today. We're going to try to put together one of their major kayak tournaments that will utilize the Racket and the Grass River here in Massena in 2021. They already have their schedule for 2020, but he said he's really enthused about the 2021 year of having a tournament here. And the reason these people, the reason that this tournament with the FLW is going to take place, and I wanted this point that I wanted to just say this, because sometimes I'll go on the radio and I'll forget to say it, but the reason that we're having this success is the town. It's the people here. And I wanted to take this time tonight to thank Tom for all that he has done over this last year in, excuse me, in making this possible. Bringing, I talked on the radio about the team of Massena that made this possible. And the team was people that Tom put together in the fire department, the rescue squad, people like Emily that came and helped us so much with our kids tournament. And that makes a tremendous difference. And this is why the FLW has chosen Massena. It's because of the treatment they were given by the people that Tom put together, by all the people that we put together, and by just the people in general in Massena. They've never seen anything like that before. And that's the reason they've chosen Massena to be the center for the new year. We also have now the fact that bass is called the St. Lawrence River, the best bass fishing in the United States and therefore the world. This is what we have to seize upon. And the fact that we have the Fishing Expo coming here in February, it makes all the sport shows that Linda and I have spent the last few years doing, it gives them all the more meaning, because now we've got this incredible message that we can spread to all the people that we see in the Northeast about what Massena is. Why should you come to Massena? Massena is a place where all this is happening. So I'm really eager to start this sport fishing season. One final thing, then I'm going to stop talking because I wasn't even playing here tonight. Yeah, you did. Lately, I've been getting an awful lot of, when I say an awful lot, I've been getting several groups of people that have contacted me from Pennsylvania, and this last week in particular from Delaware. And these people had talked to us 3 years ago at the Philadelphia Sports Show. And what that shows is sometimes it takes a while for things to catch on, for people to make up their mind. They'll keep those cards and they'll think about it and think about it. Then they'll get their friends together. And today, again, I got another group that contacted me about coming up here and fishing not only the St. Lawrence River, but our tributaries. So things are happening. And I think that it's only up as we go forward, but we can't forget that it takes, you know, those old sayings, it takes a village or whatever. It takes this town to make this happen, and that's what we're doing. So anyway, I just want, again, I want to leave this by saying how impressed I've been by the cooperation I've had, and by, I don't want to say help because it's far more than help, but by working with Tom, it's really made a lot of things possible. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Linda.
And thank you, Tom Bell. I know you worked really hard on all these projects. I always called you the Rottweiler because I would just put it out there that we need something done and he would go chewing after it. But the fishing was way above and beyond.
Thank you.
The town appreciates all that work that you did. I hope that you continue. Somebody should laugh. 200,000, Albert. You should take up fishing.
Yeah, I should take up fishing.
You could win.
What makes you think I can?
I've never seen you cast out. Alrighty. So, legislator woman, did you?
So we still have not decided what we're doing with sales tax. They're having a meeting in Augsburg tomorrow. I know that we have stopped thinking about taking the aid money back. We're done with that. So that's no longer an issue. As soon as I get a vote on it, I'll let you know.
So the meeting is with the city.
Yes, because we have to settle with the city of Augsburg first, before we'll know.
Okay.
Do you expect the settlement tomorrow, or is it going to take some time, you think?
I think that, I would think it would be good for them to settle tomorrow. I mean, this doesn't affect the towns or villages until 2021 budget, so we don't necessarily have to settle it before the end of the year. They could let it go to the next group of people if they wanted to. I don't know, I haven't spoken to any one of them, so I have no idea what they're thinking. But I would think that the people that are there now are gonna be the ones to wanna settle it, because January 1st, it's like, everybody is different.
And I just want to let the board know, we just got the accepted or revised resolution, but the Association of St. Lawrence County Association of Town Supervisors met last night in Canton and discussed a resolution to pass on to the county legislator. The big thing is it's resolved that St. Lawrence County Association of Town Supervisors and St. Lawrence County Association of Mayors, on behalf of all towns and all villages, oppose a change to the current negotiated sales tax formula between the city of Ogdensburg and St. Lawrence County. And any any change will devastate local municipal budgets, resulting in significant local tax increases and possible personnel layoffs.
So I can tell you that I'm not gonna vote for anything that would decrease the towns or the villages,
Share emphasis.
right, share of the sales tax. Because it affects your 2% tax cap, you know? There's things they've discussed that would not affect your 2% tax cap, but I wouldn't vote for anything that would affect your 2% tax cap.
Do the local representatives feel the same way?
Some of them would vote for something that would change everybody's budget. I don't know why, but I don't think they have the votes to do that. I think that what you'll see, if you see anything, is they might have enough votes to cap what we share. But if we capped what we share, it wouldn't decrease what you're getting now.
Will you be at that meeting tomorrow, Rita?
No. The reason that a cap works is because if we cap what we share, then we pay all the bills at the top out of the extra, and then there's nothing that we should have to come back to any of the towns or villages to raise theirs. I really wish we could look 2 years down the road and know how much this cashless bail is going to cost us. We just don't have any idea what the amount of money is gonna be. We anticipate there being fewer people in jail, which in some ways costs us money, in some ways it doesn't. So we don't know, I mean, it could cost us $2 million extra a year for cashless bail. If they make us get another court judge and everything, then that would cost us more money. But if we share all the sales tax, don't have enough to pay for it, then we're forced to raise taxes. So then that is where you get in the danger of your 2% tax cap. If we violate our 2% tax cap at the county level, then we lose the funding to raise the age, which would make us have to raise taxes even higher. So we're trying to really figure out how to not ever have to come back to people for other money, additional money. It would be nice if we could just, do you know what I did learn out of all this? Do you know that Franklin County shares none of its sales tax? Yeah, I was surprised at that. We were talking.
It's very frustrating. First unfunded mandates and then this.
Mhm.
It's very frustrating, trying to put a budget together that will stay underneath the tax cap.
So, your budget shouldn't be affected. The 2020 budget is gonna have no effect at all. But if the only change that's made in sales tax is capping how much we share, your 5-year average was like 56.5 million that you shared part of.
Yeah, probably.
So if we capped it, it would be higher than that. So you'd still get what you're getting now. And if we pay for stuff from the other money, assuming there is, I think sales tax should go up. And certainly if it went up a lot, we talked about this part, if it all of a sudden had a lot of extra sales tax that nobody dreamt of, then we'd have to go back and share some of it. I mean, we wouldn't just, there's a maximum amount of money that the comptroller for the state of New York wants us to have in the bank. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like people would build a mountain of money and just save it for the county. But nobody's looking to cut what you're getting, if that makes any sense.
We'll take your word for it.
Well, I can only tell you what I personally would not vote for. I would not vote to cut to the towns and villages because I'm very cognizant of the 2% tax cap and what it does to you. And the people who live here. But, I mean, for you to try to manage a budget and all of a sudden you have money missing, I hope it keeps raining and we keep having high flow money and sales tax goes up.
All right, thank you. Volunteer Transportation Center.
I'm gonna stand up. I know some people didn't, but I'll stand up right here.
So,
Go ahead.
Okay. So, first of all, I'm gonna preemptively tell you that I say I'm a teacher, and so I stand up in front of people all the time, but I say a lot when I'm nervous, so I do know what I'm talking about.
Don't be
I
nervous.
just say quite a lot when I'm nervous.
Okay.
So, we are located, we're about halfway in between Canton and Potsdam. We're a nonprofit group, and what we do is we provide transportation for Medicaid clients. We have two primary groups, Medicaid, and we do work with MAS for those clients. Medicaid gets all of those clients in Syracuse, and they do everything with all of their trips, and then they send them to us. And then we have a charity group, which is for anyone that is non-Medicaid, anyone that has Medicare, maybe has Medicaid but needs to go grocery shopping. We can provide grocery shopping for them once a month. We have several different programs. Currently we have, it's called our Access to Care program, where we work with Canton, Potsdam, St. Lawrence Health Center, St. Lawrence Health Systems. Yes, and they, we got a grant for $150,000 for, it's supposed to be until the end of this year. The grant should last a little bit longer, but what that grant does is allows Medicaid clients who are, to do things that Medicaid won't pay for. So say for instance, they want to go to a, they're currently in, I'm trying to think, they have physical therapy, and Medicaid will only pay for so many physical therapy appointments. This grant will pay for them to go to the rest of the physical therapy appointments. There is a clubhouse here in Massena, I know for people that, I don't know if it's, the lady called it a clubhouse, so I'm not sure if that's correct terminology, for people who are in like recovery, and they want to come, they live on their own, but they all gather at this clubhouse. We would pick them up at their home and take them with this grant to this clubhouse so that they're not alone and they can be with, attend groups and do events together. We are quickly running out of that funding, but we are using it to our best ability. I think today I looked at it and we had provided we had accepted 2,200 individual trips using that money. And those are all just Medicaid clients going places that they need to go to help their well-being that Medicaid wouldn't pay for. So we take a lot of people grocery shopping, we take them to doctor's appointments, we take people if their loved ones are in a nursing home and they're not in the nursing home, we take them to visit. And that if it's a charity, if it's one of our charity clients, we take them at no charge. We do, when we set them up, we let them know if you can give us a donation, we do appreciate it because that's how that program is run. We also do a lot of fundraising. We just did a mac and cheese cook-off. We do a golf tournament every year. We do a bowling tournament. So we try to do all kinds of interesting things to get the community involved, to raise funds, to be able to take people on these trips. Can I ask if you guys have any questions? Is that allowed?
well, oh no, yeah, go ahead.
Do that all the
Does anybody
time.
have any questions? So in case
What are you looking for?
I I'm just getting it out there. I'm just letting you know that our services are available, and what we do, and that's about all.
So you're in St. Lawrence County, yeah?
Yes, we are.
Much in Massena?
We are in Massena a lot. Actually, Massena is one of our bigger customers, I guess. We probably have about, I would say 10 to 15 drivers that live here in Massena, and we have clients here every day.
Where you have vehicles that these,
No, actually what happens is the person who volunteers takes their vehicle,
okay,
and they're volunteers, they're true volunteers, we don't pay them, but they are reimbursed for their mileage. And we will take anybody anywhere they need to go. We have taken people to Syracuse, Burlington, Boston, Philadelphia, you name it, we've taken them there, so.
How would somebody sign up for the program, or how would they find information on the
They
program?
they can go right to our website, which is volunteertransportation.org, or they can call our office, which is 714-2034.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page,
What is your name?
Christine Richardson.
I have your cards for you.
How many volunteer drivers do you have in total?
Well, right now we have about 90.
90.
But we're always looking for more. So if you know anybody that is interested in driving, maybe that's why I'm here. If you know anyone that is interested in driving, send them our way, because we are always looking for drivers. We can never have too many drivers. We had, yesterday we had 106 Medicaid trips. And that's without our,
In one day?
in one day.
Wow.
That is without our charity care trips added. That's us. So,
Sounds like a great program. One question I have, is there like a blanket insurance policy for those drivers, or is there?
so they use it's their insurance. But if they are in an accident and they are driving, we have a secondary policy that if where their insurance stops, our insurance covers over and above theirs.
The grant that you received, was it state or federal?
Federal.
Federal. Now, are you still applying for grants?
We are, that grant ends, and we are currently searching.
So should you be coming to the town boards and village boards and asking for our support to give to the grant to help build your case and show that like the town board supports your organization and what good it does for our community? So you can add that to your grant? I don't know, I'm missing the word. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Letter of support.
Letter of support, but there's still something about, that's why I was wondering if you were here tonight for something like that, or?
No, we were just.
I called and asked them to be here tonight, so we
Good.
can get familiar with it, that's what I did.
Good. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that we're out there. A lot of people think that, number one, we're a taxi, which we're not, and number two, that we're DSS drivers, and we're not DSS drivers either. We're just our own entity, and we're just trying to help people get to these essential places that they need to go. I'm gonna let Ken, do I have a few more minutes? Frank, you can talk now.
Hi, the only thing I need, Mr. Shaughnessy, is a step stool so people can see me over there. I'm Frank Doldo, Mobility Manager for St. Lawrence County. I was asked to come, didn't know what I was gonna talk about, but I figured I could talk about the Massena Intercity Shuttle that will be happening here, give you some information about it, let you know about it. I also, Mr. Shaughnessy, New York State DOT would like me to get you to use a pen because we sent them a scanned copy of that letter of support so that I can overnight it to them. So, in case you don't know, Massena Inter-Village Shuttle, I set something up in Ogdensburg, it's been very successful. We're gonna set it up here in Messina. The tentative date, and all of you will be invited, once we get the okay from DOT, is March 2nd. It's gonna be a constant loop. The loop here in Messina is gonna be 2 hours because we got support and approval from Akwesasne to go into theirs. My thinking behind it is, they're an employer in the area, people need to get jobs. They get jobs at the casino. Seniors tell me it's the best buffet in town, and they wanna go there, so I wanna make sure seniors get there. So, off the top of my head, I'm gonna tell you some of the stops. So we're gonna hit, all the senior high-rises here in Messina. We're gonna hit the Housing Authority, we're gonna hit the hospital, we're gonna hit the Department of Labor library, we're gonna hit both malls, we're gonna hit Bob's Motel, we're also gonna hit Aldi's, Price Chopper, Walmart, where your farmer's market is, we're gonna make sure we hit in that plaza there. Twin Leaves, the casino and the senior center there, so that, and the community center here in Messina, so that we can connect the two seniors together. I can't let that cat out of the bag right now, but I will tell you that there's a local business that called me up, and we sealed the deal last week. They are going to pay for all the fares for the first month of operation of the Massena shuttle. They're also going to be on the bus for the first loop to do giveaways, and they're either going to advertise on half the bus or the full bus, but they're looking to partner with another organization in Messina that is waiting on their funding to come in to see what's going to happen. So there's been great support there. We also just found out 3 weeks ago that the Health Initiative is funding 2 bus shelters. So I'm having a meeting with the mayor and a bunch of people that the mayor's bringing together to talk about locations. So we're very grateful for that. 100% funded, and we're hoping March 2nd will be the start date for the Massena shuttle. I could go on and tell you about First Mile, Last Mile program that we have that gets people to the bus stop for free, from their house to the bus stop, but I'll just leave these brochures on the side here and have people pick them up, and I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
I read the emails with the schedule, and I understand it's a 2-hour loop, so that's, how many 2-hour loops are there? There's not just the one, right?
So the schedule that you saw is tentative. We've been figuring out, because I wanted to hit someplace near the high school and the junior high school in that area, because there's people, and then I wanted to hit out someplace near Madison Elementary on that road. So we found out we couldn't do it there, so we're gonna hit the Dollar General. The game plan, it's tentative right now, is gonna be 7 in the morning till 6 or 7 o'clock at night. 2-hour loop.
6 loops probably.
Yeah, that's the way it works out. We're gonna do a 4-month pilot, get feedback from the riders, see where people do wanna go, don't wanna go, what changes they wanna make, and then institute it for a full year. And if it works out with the budget and everything, it'll be smooth sailing, just like it is in Ogdensburg right now. I'm anticipating that the ridership is gonna be greater here than it is in Ogdensburg, and Ogdensburg's doing amazing right now. We're doing over 400 riders a month, just in Ogdensburg alone.
I noticed all your spots have a good spot, like maybe Price Chopper or Walmart, you know. Why Bob's Motel?
So we have a homeless population that need to get to services and access, and we go right by it when we go on the loop. It's right by it. So this is getting people access, because the game plan is after 4 months, or during the 4 months, I'm gonna figure out how to make direct routes from Massena to Potsdam to Canton, and Massena to Ogdensburg, because that's what people are telling me where they need to get to. People need to get to Canton because they need to get to DSS, Department of Social Services, and people need to go grocery shopping, and people need to get counseling services and medical services both in Canton and in Ogdensburg. The goal down the road is once Franklin County gets buses, this will be an opportunity of Franklin County to connect with St. Lawrence County. And believe it or not, there are St. Lawrence County residents that are having services in Malone. So this will be a connection for them. The other thing that I learned, another reason why we're going to the casino is to get people close to Mohawk Vision, because people in the Massena area, my understanding is it's the only place in the area that services children for eyewear. So people said they had a need to get out there. So Bob's Motels, because homeless population and
I didn't even know we had a homeless shelter here in Messina, or,
I don't know if it's a shelter, but it's where people are placed.
I thought we sent
Is
them.
it something that maybe put on our website
Was that a long time ago?
for the two places information?
Great idea. As soon as I get the schedule finalized, sometime January, February, I will email it.
Give it to the town clerk,
I'd be happy to do that.
No,
Absolutely.
they should-
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I need a resolution to approve the budget work sessions that we had on September 18th, October 2nd, and October 9th.
So,
Second.
Melanie, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. And our regular meeting on October 16th.
that was a special reason.
Special.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Here, I thought I had this right.
Oh, that was the 15th. I'm sorry, I'm looking at November.
Yeah. no.
You're right, yep.
16th.
You mean to mess you up?
Yeah, thanks. I can do it. So, I need a resolution to approve.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from 10:16, our regular meeting.
Second.
two separate resolutions? Is that what you're saying? Yes?
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions? Against? So moved. All right, we have a solar draft law. Solar law draft. So I had asked the member from the planning board to come tonight, and Mr. David Grant is here. Did your board have any concerns, or?
We have not discussed this at our last planning board, so I can't give you a summary of what the planning board's feelings are at this point. They were all notified to attend this evening, but obviously they didn't get the memo like I did, since I sent it. But I have reviewed it and have just a couple of questions, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Certainly it looks very detailed, so I don't know if we want to.
Well, we have to have a public hearing, and then we'll also have to have,
Meeting goes on.
yeah, the seeker. I have to have that done. We may ask the planning board to be the lead agency on that one. So I know this has been going on for quite some time, but hopefully we'll be able to get this on the books. Not that there has been any solar projects that have been knocking on our door. It'd be nice to get that on. So, thanks, Dave, for coming.
Can I ask one question though?
You can ask all you want.
The draft that you have provided though, was that taken from another municipality as a template? And if so, can that be shared, where this came from?
Well, we did have a couple of meetings with representatives from NYSERDA and a New York State agency that came up, and Albert and I were at that meeting, and they talked about different templates, whatever anybody needed, and offered to help with that. And Eric Gustafson, our town attorney, had put this together, and I'm sure from templates. I do have some books that I had given your chairman that I'm sure he's passed around to you. But we have energy, solar draft, and battery energy storage system guidebooks as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want, I can get them to you. And then by the time we have this public hearing, so we'll set it, we'll need a resolution to set a public hearing for that.
Roger, I think.
Roger, that's
Oh,
looking into
sorry.
that.
Is this a farm, a solar farm, or individual?
It's for a large scale solar
Okay, so
farm.
we're talking megawatts.
I believe
Well,
it's,
It also addresses, you know, roofs and glare from solar panels, they're not, you know, it would also be residential as well, it's included in this.
Correct, there's two sections, there's major and then minor systems. Minor systems could be just residential type applications where people wanna put some panels on their rooftops. But then the majors also get into much more detail about large scale farms and doing it more commercially, business oriented. But there's a lot of good content though on setbacks and making sure that your resident isn't gonna put up a whole set of trees so that it blocks all the sun from your solar panels and such, and vice versa. So, there's a lot of good content in there. And, I speaking on behalf of the planning board, but I'm certainly in favor of the draft version that you've presented. I think it's very detailed.
great, thank you. Trying to think of how we could get that, can we get that on the webpage as well?
As long as I have information.
All right, I'll send it to you.
You want the public hearing?
December,
December 18th.
December 18th.
Yeah, that's 5:30 or 5 o'clock.
9:30. We'll be sitting around.
Okay,
waiting for
sure.
a half hour.
Yep.
Nobody shows. So 5:30, is that okay?
I make a motion, we set a public hearing for the code on solar on December 18th at 5:30.
Second.
Yep.
For my birthday.
All righty. Any further discussion?
Steve, our normal planning board meeting is scheduled for tomorrow night, but we have postponed it till Tuesday. I will make sure that this is on the agenda and that we do talk about it at next Tuesday.
Dave, can you email all the board members of what you guys find as a body?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. All righty, we have a GIS hosting contract with Dank that needs to be updated if you so desire. I don't know if anybody's had the opportunity to.
Due date on that, because I mean, Vern wasn't clear on whether he uses it or not. And I don't know if any of us really use it. You don't use it, do you, Frank?
Pretty handy.
Is he?
It's handy.
I mean, they met.
What's it cost, what's the total of the contract?
$700.
How much?
So, anyways.
I can't remember.
When it goes up, it's got a sliding.
Yeah, 700, 800.
Do you want this?
I read it, I just can't remember what the cost was.
775 for 20, January 20 to December is 775 posting fee.
So,
2020.
What we're basically buying is you get access to an internal portal which has a lot more information than, anybody can go to that site and get some mapping information, but like it'll be helpful for planning, for water lines. That's all mapped out what's there now and different assets of the town. What's your pleasure?
I haven't had time to use it, but I would, time allows, I wouldn't mind.
It's not due till
Yeah.
January, so we could, we wanted to check it out.
Okay. I will talk to her and see how much she uses it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also a contact number on that email if you want to talk to somebody.
it's well worth $775.
Yeah, and it also helps support them to be able to make improvements to it. Okay. All right, we have,
Steve,
we're held on that.
put this on hold for next
Till-
meeting? or-
Yes, December. Have a request or a potential for 6 new computers for different offices that we have here. Money that, we have the money, Brenda?
You're supposed to say no.
You're supposed
My
to.
friend is getting a computer, so.
Yeah. So they're in need of upgrade, is that correct? And if we upgraded the present computers, there's no warranty. I believe you have it, Pam put it in the list of documents that you have, the quote from ABS on your email.
Have you gotten the quote from ABS?
Yeah, I sent it to everybody.
You did?
Yep. Yeah, for 6 computers, it'd be $6,660.
Is that for the computers or everything?
Yeah, computers and the monitor, and it includes the setup and transfer and everything, setup fee and everything.
So licensing?
Yeah. Aaron from ABS sent this to Taya. They said we recommend replacing computers at the current age instead of investing in the upgrades. The upgrades are about $325 apiece.
And this includes the 3-year agreement on site, the extended service?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost 2,000 for upgrades.
This includes the 3-year service.
Our computers are currently Windows 7, right?
Correct, and that's
And
gonna
they're
be
done
obsolete.
January 1st, people.
Right. Yeah.
Steve, you want a motion on this? We've talked about it several
Yeah.
times.
Yep.
And the money's already in the budget, right, Brenda?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we purchase 6 new computers at different
That's
locations.
7.
Huh?
Six.
What's a
They,
two per tax window?
oh, two, yeah, there's still 6, you gotta take.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's okay. They included in Vern in this quote,
Okay.
but Vern's been approved for the 2020 budget for when we meet.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Second.
So Tom and Melanie seconded. Any further discussion? Sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. All righty, we want, I would like a resolution to authorize me to sign an intermunicipal agreement for services of a court officer. And our share would be up to a maximum of $5,410 for the year 2020.
So moved, Mr. Supervisor.
Second.
Motion by Sam, seconded by Albert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. We need a motion to accept Christopher Herrick's resignation from the BDC board as of November 12th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Wait. This is a joint appointment, so we have to have
The village.
the village approve. But we can definitely accept the resignation, but I just wanted to get that last sentence out. So, a motion by Sam, second
Second.
by Albert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions, or opposed, abstentions, so carried. Does anybody have an idea?
No, I just want to thank Chris Herrick for all of his many years of dedicated service to the BDC.
I think that the supervisor should send a letter of thanks for his service.
I know that, I forget how many years, but he has been the treasurer, which takes a lot of extra work. Okay, well, let me know if anybody can, has anybody in mind. Alrighty, you have a copy of the salary schedule reviewed. Any changes or anything there? Take a motion to approve that.
Move that the salaries be approved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. All right, we have this 2020 budget. We have been working on tirelessly for several months. Anybody have any changes?
Settled it 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I need somebody to adopt it, or make a resolution to adopt it.
I'll make a resolution to accept the adopted 2020 town budget as presented and what we have worked on.
Second.
Motion by Melanie, seconded by Albert. All those, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried.
I'd like to thank Brenda for all of her hard
Yeah,
work.
thank you, Brenda.
Everybody who worked on the budget, all the department heads and so on.
On Saturdays and Sundays. Right?
Yeah. And I also presented the tax map, so it's all been submitted.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's 1.5 inside.
And 1.3 outside.
Right.
1.3 outside, 1.5.
1513.
Good. Okay. All right, transfers and amendments. You have those.
I make a motion transfers amendment be approved.
Second.
Motion by Tom, and seconded by Albert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I make a motion the warrants that senior councilman Nicola and I signed today be approved.
Don't you mean deputy?
Second.
Deputy supervisor.
You got him done?
One more.
Mr. Supervisor, there's also a couple of additions at the bottom, if you want to do those before you get to the end of your.
Okay. So, all those in favor of warrant 11?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. We have NCC has submitted a proposal to upgrade the security system of the town properties in Messena. Carbone.
Yeah, I spoke to Jerry, obviously with the Windows 7 upgrade is no longer available, like Pam said. With Windows 10, with a milestone now, but if that was upgraded, there's no future updates, so the Genetech system is the way to go. Couple added things with that is, I guess access can be on your computer or anybody's computer. If Frank wanted a mobile app on his phone, you can get the, you know, if you have a problem at the library, museum, or here, we can get that for $200 more. It'd save you a lot of running around. I did ask about the library. If it does become a school district library, we could probably just keep that as is, or they'd have to go out and get their own licensing and software, which would be about $3,000. It's about $200 per camera. And then I also asked for a discount. We got $1,100 off, so it's down to $21,900 now instead of $23,000.
That's just for the upgrade.
That's for 5 years. Upgrade, any upgrades for the 5 years. It's licensing is $200 per camera. There's like 42 cameras, so that's $8,400 just for licensing. And the software installation, the 5 years to upgrade everything.
Is that Jerry?
Yeah.
They did the original.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, they put the original system in. So we can still even add cameras to this as well. I think they, obviously $200 for licensing, probably a couple $100 for a camera, maybe about $500 for an additional camera. I did also ask if because the village has the same system, if the town board wanted to approve the village to have access, the police could access our cameras as well, to check on the museum, the town hall, or the library.
So, want a motion on
If you so desire.
What budget is this coming out of? Is it this budget?
Well, we have to have it done by the end of the year. So, I'd say this budget.
Since we didn't budget for it.
it? It's got to come out of the supervisor's budget if he's got anything left for 2019.
Contractual.
Or office, if he's got anything left there.
That's what I'm just asking.
Without in front of me, I mean, there's got to be probably big enough.
We don't have
You
any
tell us.
money.
I've been trying to coach you for 2 years.
I know.
That also controls the door system, right, locking the doors and unlocking the doors.
Do you have something
So-
for the supervisor
Yeah, I mean, you've,
with the computers? I'm just
Pam,
having
you've
that
worked with
computer
it a lot.
too.
Is this something that you would use outside or with the new system?
Is it user-friendly? Is it easy? Is it good? Or have you had great luck with it? Or
It's, once you learn the system, it's not hard.
When you have questions or problems with it,
Yeah.
are they right there to
Janine
help
helps
you out?
with it and Natalie helps with it.
I think if the
Natalie,
police
did you-
department is able to access the library and the museum and the town hall, because I get calls,
All hours, all
alarm,
Yeah.
night?
you know, and it's just, the alarm went off, there's no reason why. I mean,
Yep. I think
they could at least see, you know, before you actually, in the middle of the night, have to venture into the building with them to see what's going on.
Yep.
I think it's a good idea from that standpoint. There's always somebody in this building, right? They're always
Yeah.
downstairs, but, you know, the other buildings are not.
Yeah.
is there still money left in the supervisor's account? I make a motion, we do the contract with NCC to update the cameras. We gotta have cameras. For the AC side, we gotta have
Computer
cameras.
system, yeah.
Second.
All right, motion by Tom, second by Melanie. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
And, wait, opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
You want the video for your phone to go first?
Okay, so we have an update on the water system. We had put in a grant with USDA to have the engineering work done, get a grant for that, it was $17,000. And we got, Tisdale Associates did the work to replace all the existing waterworks, and we got a check. When was that, Brenda? It's recently, right? I'm sure you did. 17,000.
It was paid in full, right? 100%. Good.
They did pay for all the engineering. We're set to go, I believe has he filed the application?
I think he has.
Yeah.
It's
So
going,
we're just waiting for their approval for the grant.
should be able to go out to bid this
Hopefully we
winter,
bid
spring.
spring, or hopefully not,
February.
February time.
February, March.
Yes.
Hopefully put a shovel in the ground in spring.
So that was some pretty good news.
Yeah, you know, this has been my pet peeve for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, it's,
It's been everybody's.
working with different agencies, it's so hard to do, especially when they had the government shutdown, that set us back. The USDA, when they had the government shutdown,
Yeah.
that sent us way back. Finally, we did get some good news on it, so let's all hope continues to move forward.
And the office in Canton, the local office, has been really helpful trying to get, push things along.
Renee's been working on this for a long time.
Yeah. So, okay. You have your financial reports for October. Any comment on that, any of the financial reports? Anybody have any questions on the monthly report from H3 Designs? I just got this just now. Okay. All right, committee reports. Highway.
Highway. Obviously, everybody knows winter came early this year. Between 11/7 and 11/15 of this, of November, we were out 7 times. We worked 131 hours of overtime. Just comparing it to last November, from 11/1/18 through 11/31/18, we were out 8 times total. And worked 198 hours of overtime for the whole month. We've ordered 370 tons of salt already this year, and we ordered the same period last year for the whole month, 511 tons. So obviously winter's here, it doesn't look like it's going away. We're training 3 highway employees, 2 new to the department and 1 assigned to a new plow route. Training is going very well. Pretty sure we'll be ready for shift work. We shouldn't need any additional help for training above and beyond what we have. And all the equipment we use for the winter is ready to go. The turnaround on State Highway 131 east side of the Massena intake was completed on November 4th, 2019. Obviously, the Massena intake will remain closed all winter, so our turnaround, so when we plow to the, I'm going to call it the east side of the intake, now we have a turnaround to come back out. That's been completed. Massena Airport boutique air numbers for October 2019 were a total of 907. We've had a pre-build meeting with Oshkosh on the new ARF truck for the Massena Airport. I sent a purchase order in on 10/24. We've made some changes to the ARF truck, pretty much the operator functionality changes, efficiencies. The changes were made to the truck seating, water tank fill connections, pre-connection hand line, structural operator panel, scuba tank storage, and all changes were approved by CNS Engineering. The changes that were made don't affect the operation of the truck. And as long as we didn't change the price of the truck, the FAA grant, it stays in place. We also had a pre-bid meeting with Skymark on the new Jet A fuel truck. They were looking for information, what truck, the type of truck chassis we wanted to use. We're gonna go with the Ford F750 chassis. They needed information on the Scully system for the overfill protection or prevention. They needed to know where the bottom load location and connection size and style was, the style of meter to be used for being able to bill customers to have the meter for gallons. They also wanted pictures of our current Jet A truck, and we talked about the overwing hose reel assembly and the Prist injection for de-icing. We also had, last week on the 12th, we had reviewed the Massena Airport CIP with the FAA on a conference call. On the conference call was the town of Massena, CNS Engineering, and the FAA. So these are the projects that we are going to have on the airport CIP for 2020. We're going to complete, obviously, the taxiway C rehab is basically resurfacing and installing new taxiway lighting sign boxes and installing fuel monitoring system on Jet A fuel tank. Our local share is $29,810. Fence improvement and stabilization project will take place. Our local share is $25,000. The FAA is added to the 2020 Airport CIP is the 523 runway rehab design. They're saying that the pavement is 20 years old and they want that basically rehab by 2022. So our main runway in 2022, if everything goes right, will go down for probably a couple of months during the summer. So the cost of the design, the local share is $10,650. The rehab, you're looking at about $4,900,000 to redo that runway. And one other thing is the FAA is added to the airport CIP for 2020. We have to have an airport pavement management system. We have to have a way of gauging and checking and looking at our asphalt so we can come up with a scale to say what the conditions are and when they need to be resurfaced. And CNS is going to work on that, and our share is $1,750. So our total local share for this year's airport CIP coming up for 2020 is $67,210. We had budgeted over $70,000 in there, so we still, the money's there. We removed the 5.2 crack seal repair design for 5.23 because obviously if we're going to rehab it, there's no sense of doing that. The GA apron rehab construction was pulled away from the 2020 and put into 2021. We're still waiting for funding for that to be released. And the FAA was not sure yet if that was going to happen or when it was going to happen. The Massena Library, we've got a heating issue in a BOCES room in the basement, working with S&L Electric to resolve that problem.
So with the local share being $67,000 for the airport, we're talking like $8 million of repairs being done that the federal government's got for grant money?
You're almost $3 million, $3 million maybe. If the GA comes through, you're talking over $4 million.
I thought that one was $4 million something.
That's 2022.
2022. You're right, sorry.
The ARF truck, does that have a foam tank in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah.
So it goes right into it?
Yep.
You don't have to drive out?
Actually, I've got right here, if anybody wants to look, so the truck
Pretty
will
sharp.
work very similar to what we're gonna get.
Yeah, but it's pretty sure. Yeah, it's all
Yeah, I saw the
foam.
picture, okay, I wasn't sure.
It's all automatic, yeah, Sam. Yep.
Okay, it's not run out of the bucket anymore.
No, not no more. You don't have to
Okay,
adapt into the hose.
All right.
No.
So the other thing, I guess there were some concerns with the snowstorm we had. I didn't realize that some roads were plowed later, or whatever. I heard some complaints or whatever, but I understand that the crews were out till 11 o'clock the night before, then back in the morning.
That's the problem with shift work, is at some point you have to go home.
Yeah.
So we typically will work till 11, 12, and then, that's when the traffic is the lightest, is between 12 and 3 in the morning. We came back in for 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Until you go to shift
Yeah,
work.
understandable. Yeah. Unexpected. Way too early.
Yeah.
It's still here.
Let me think about the North Country. Never been done. MED, or rescue squad,
We're still moving forward on the, working as a committee for the 401K. We have a meeting next Monday night at 7 o'clock. Other than that, not a lot of issues. They started the second BLS person full-time, 6A to 6P. 1st of November, right, Roger? Yeah. So, one day they had 13 calls. They answered every one of them except for one. And that was because there was a series of 4 calls within X amount of time, so. Trying their best, obviously, still looking for volunteers. It's declining throughout the state, throughout the country. So, that's all I got on rescue squad.
And they lost one of their furnace that services their front area of their building over there. The blower motor went, it's been ordered, and as soon as it comes in, we'll get it replaced.
MED.
Tomorrow is their meeting.
Library?
Well, still work on that library, school district. Looks like preliminary numbers, the town of Massena should save around $210,000 annually if that goes through. That's what, 8.5%, 9% of our budget, our taxable revenue.
Is there a vote on that coming up?
May.
I thought it was
Well,
December.
May, maybe June,
Okay.
undetermined, either May or
Is
June.
it along with the school budget, right?
It may or may not be, it might be the month after.
Okay.
Museum?
Still working on plans for the addition, they're gonna have a Christmas display there with antique toys.
Yeah, the library's doing,
The Christmas tree, yeah, yeah.
Christmas tree. Everybody should make an effort to stop over there. Recreation?
Everything is up and running. High school hockey, boys and girls began. Minor hockey is also up. Mike McCabe is constantly looking for ways to increase the usage. Couple of things that he's instituted: power skating, which is doing very well, and a mite tournament is got 28 teams committed right now. Rock and skate is going over really well. It's a moneymaker for it, so everything's fine.
BDC? Anything?
Tomorrow.
You gotta find a replacement? Okay.
I don't know if you had a chance to talk to the rest of the board, Mr. Supervisors, about local government task force. The supervisor and I had a meeting at NIPA. What had happened was the plans got held up in NIPA's code department. So they got a hold of the supervisor asked for an immediately, because we've been waiting for years to get this go out for bid. And I mean, it goes way back when Joe and I were working on it. So, and it seems to get to a level stop. So the supervisor asked for an emergency meeting. Him and I attended that, and that meeting went extremely well. We answered all their questions. We brought a code officer from the codes department, myself and the supervisor met with, I don't even know the new gentleman. What's his name?
Steve Schoenweiser.
Steve, and really professional guy, and he followed up with an email the next day, and I think that was a very positive meeting, and I think we're going to move forward quickly. We're hoping so. The renovations hopefully are continuing to move forward, and some of the changes quickly. Their code department put an ADA ramp in, which is quite pricey, but it's needed. So that was a huge improvement. Some other things, the fishing pier will have railings all around it, the permanent fishing pier. So fire lanes, fire protection, alarm systems. So those are the things that were addressed at meeting so that we can move forward out of their code officer. We had to answer here locally. So all in all, I think that meeting I left that meeting feeling pretty good that hopefully that'll lead that next step and move on to the next one.
And they hope to have the package ready to go out to bid the end of December. They promised them beginning of December, so that means.
We all know what that means, yeah. So anyhow, I did feel good about that meeting, and so just to let the board know that they are moving forward with that renovation at the intake.
We are having a local government task force meeting tomorrow, 4:30.
Sam, back to your concerns about the roads, just so everybody knows, the main roads are the last things in that situation, they're always hit last. So obviously, the weather is bad, you know, people need to slow down, but the mains are always hit. So it's your secondaries where you might, you know.
Yeah, understandable, yeah. I mean, especially without having shifts on that anyway. One other thing too with highway, I did check on mowing, just as a preliminary look at that, and some towns are contracting with the county for mowing, and some other towns are looking to proceed with that. So I did ask for a contract amount per mile, and we go from there.
All right, well, that's all I've got. Is this our custom, if anybody has any comments to make at the end of the meeting from the citizenry? No? Okay,
Couple questions if I can.
yep.
The water project, is that the same water project you were talking about in like August or September?
Oh, for several years.
So,
Okay, and it's the whole system or it's?
East Messina.
East Messina, okay. Okay, thank you. And when you talked about the local government task force, where are these renovations going to be taking place? I missed
The
that.
boat launch at the intake.
Okay, intake boat launch, thank you. That's all I have.
All right,
Make a motion, we adjourn. Oh. You done with the public comment? I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?